We have questions this morning for Andrew Yang, one of the candidates taking part in this Tuesday's Democratic presidential debate. Contributor Nicholas Thompson, the editor-in-chief of Wired magazine, caught up with Yang along the campaign trail.
How beautiful are you, LA?
In a park in LA last month, thousands gathered to hear the Democrat perhaps least likely to be running for president.
And I am the ideal candidate for that job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math.
In Andrew Yang's world, math stands for Make America Think Harder. And Yang is mostly thinking about dire economic times ahead. He's on message, if sometimes off color.
That's right, I did some math. We have to be pretty stupid to let $1 trillion tech company pay nothing in taxes. Am I right, Los Angeles?
For a first-time politician, Yang is doing surprisingly well. Polls put him in single digits. But in the last 3 months, Yang picked up $10 million in donations. That's less than half of what the frontrunners took in, but it puts him solidly in the middle of the pack. His supporters are known as the Yang Gang.
He's all about humanity first.
He's not really a politician.
And I'm barely a politician.
Andrew Yang, in fact, calls himself an entrepreneur. His parents immigrated from Taiwan. His father, a physicist. His mother has a master's in math and statistics. Yang grew up in Schenectady, New York. His first big success was running a college test prep company. Then he founded Venture for America, a nonprofit that helps train entrepreneurs in struggling cities. And he thinks jobs, or rather the loss of them, are why Donald Trump won the presidency.
The numbers tell a very clear story. We automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Iowa, all the swing states that Donald Trump needed to win and did win.
And Yang believes robots and artificial intelligence will accelerate the loss of all kinds of jobs.
And now what we did to those jobs, we are doing to the retail jobs, the call center jobs, the fast food jobs, the truck driving jobs, and on through the economy.
We met Yang along the campaign trail as he took a break for some tea.
I'm gonna get the Duke of Earl Grey.
And then discovered a foosball table, where we naturally talked about economic theory and another of Yang's big ideas, reforming how we calculate gross domestic product, or GDP.
Well, if you want to see how out of whack GDP is, all you have to do is look at my family. My wife is at home with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. And what is her work every day included at in GDP? 0. And we know that her work is among the most important work being done for our society.
Isn't your work also valued at 0 right now, running for president?
It probably is.
Instead of just measuring economic output, Yang-style GDP
would include things like our health and life expectancy, our mental health and freedom from substance abuse, how our kids are doing, how clean our air and water are.
But the centerpiece of the Yang campaign is what he calls the freedom dividend. As president, he would give $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, to every American adult, rich or poor.
Our economy functions much better when we have money to spend, where we can participate in the market, where businesses are responsive to us, we'll start more businesses, we'll be able to change jobs more easily. So the money doesn't disappear in our hands. It creates a trickle-up economy from our people, our families, and our communities up.
Is this a good idea?
There's some parts of it that are an interesting idea.
Austin Goolsbee was chairman of President Obama's Council of Economic Advisors.
On a practical basis, you kind of would need to know, well, how would that work? That's a thing that's going to cost $2.4 trillion a year.
How big a number is $2.4 trillion?
Put it into context. The entire income tax in the United States on everyone combined is like $1.5 trillion.
To pay for it, Yang proposes a federal value-added tax, essentially a sales tax of 10%, though Goolsbee estimates it might have to be up to 30%. Yang says his proposals will particularly hit big tech.
If we put a mechanism in place where we, the American people, get our fair share, tiny slice of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, every robot truck mile, we can generate hundreds of billions in new revenue and easily afford a $1,000 dividend for every American adult. You are one of the winners of the Freedom Dividend. You're getting $1,000 a month for a year.
Yang has already started giving out freedom dividends.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
He's called 10 families with the good news.
Oh man, I'm like shaking right now.
Paid for it first out of his own pocket and then by the campaign. Though it's all getting Yang a lot of attention, the odds against him becoming president are overwhelming.
I am here with you tonight, one of only 2 candidates in the field that 10% or more of Donald Trump voters say they will support, which means that when I am the nominee, we win the whole thing.
But he's not lacking in confidence. Andrew Yang says he's done the math.
It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors. And if Donald Trump's the scissors, I'm the rock.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. And before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to all of our God tier patrons over on Patreon.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah, yeah.